summer kind of, everyone checks out a little bit during the summer, but that's a goal of mine for the fall, especially if the senior center continues in some capacity, to really bring in more stories. Which leads me to the really exciting reason why I think I'm here. I received funding. I won a pitch at the Big Sky Documentary Film Festival, and I won $25,000 from Tribeca Film and ESPN to make a film. And it just so happens to be about a local Missoulian who visits the senior center, and that's how I met her. And she also is part of the senior league at Westside Lanes. And her name is Lois Shinottle. And if you guys, I'm going to share this link with you only because it gives you a picture of her and describes the project if you want to look at it later. And this is the latest article. We've had a couple of articles in the Missoulian. I attribute that to there being not very much news. They're like, oh, Kelly, can we put you back in the paper? What's the status? What's the update? But this one's a really nice article about how documentary filmmakers are faring during this time, and it's all local. So I felt really lucky to be included in that. Will someone let me know if that link works? Okay, so you'll scroll down and you'll see a picture of me, Mike, and Lois. Hush, Rue. What's she barking at? You could take her down. Hold on, sorry, 1 second. You could take her down to Tika's if you want. Okay, only we got a puppy during COVID, so she's no longer a puppy. She's 6 months old. Not sure if it was the best decision or the worst decision we've made here. Okay, so anyway, that article, I just would love you see Lois. Now, I'm going to show you our trailer, and this is well, it's not a trailer. It was more of a sample clip that I used for the pitch. And what the pitch entailed is, so I had this idea to make a film about seniors, actually a feature-length film about seniors in Montana, and really spotlighting seniors who live in different parts of the state, who maybe someone's more rural, someone's more urban, and to really kind of go through what it's like to get older in this state, what services are available, much more as like a public documentary, PBS style documentary than anything else. Because when I worked at the senior center, just let her up on the couch. When I worked at the senior center, I just noticed how many seniors rely on services or lack thereof. And I really wanted to dive into that more as a journalist and to see how we could fix some problems or move forward on some problems. So I was hoping to work with AARP, who I have a connection with too, the senior center and then the agencies on aging. And I still might do that because I think it's, especially as our state gets older and as more people maybe move here and retire here, it's something I'm really interested in exploring. So with that note, I'm going into this breakfast with Oddfest, which is another film festival. It's a virtual film festival that Paige Williams runs from Missoula. And she had an all-women filmmakers breakfast at Clyde Coffee. And this was in, in December. Early December last year. And Rachel from Big Sky Documentary Film Festival was there and was like, oh, well, just so you guys know, as we were leaving, she's like, there's this, you can win $25,000. We need some more entries. You should go look at Tribeca Film website and apply. And we had a week and a half, I think, to turn around what you're going to see, this sample. And I was accepted. I did the application. They saw this clip. I also wrote about the story and what I would be following, my budget, my timeline, everything. And then 6 films were chosen, or 6 pitch ideas were chosen. And we then presented at the Big Sky Documentary Film Festival. And it was a contest, basically. So there was a panel of some local filmmakers, and then a representative from ESPN, and a representative from Berkeley Sound, which they provided the sound package, and a couple of other, someone from Tribeca, and a couple of other people there for the festival. And to go back a little bit, the pitch had to do with it had to be a short documentary, a documentary between 8 minutes and 20 minutes. So that's kind of the time frame. And it had to explore health through the lens of sport, competition, or athleticism. That was it. And they didn't have I don't think they had a lot of, it was so narrow. And it had to be the American West. That's what this pitch is for. So anyway, I get in and we go through pitch training. It was really educational. I learned a lot. I'm working with the industry professionals through all this. And I do my pitch. And as Leah Jokey knows, I think in our training as performers, I know how to do a pitch. I know how to deliver a pitch. It's something, it's like a monologue. I got up there, I knew my story. I present well. I speak to the audience. I know exactly the points I have to hit, and I had 7 minutes to do so. 3 minutes of those were the film. So I will show you the film. Yeah. You want to say hi really quick? Come here. Here's my daughter. Hold on one sec. That's Charlotte. This is Charlotte. She's taking my phone. Okay. What are you looking for? Okay, let me get them playing. I'm gonna start playing. Oh gosh, I can't do the screen share. Jim, can you take a second to see if you can maybe figure out how to enable screen share? Because I'd really like to show this clip.
You're on mute, Jim.
I do, but when I do it, it says host disabled attendee screen sharing. So there has to be some, and I bet it's on your screen share. If you click it, there might be a menu. There we go. Okay, let me try. Yep, great. Okay, so here we go, you guys. This is the clip. It's 3 minutes long. Everybody game to watch it?
Sure.
Okay, ready? Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Perfect, here we go.
I had a conversation with my doctor.
Wait, hold on.
Not long.
I'm gonna start it over.
In fact, I just had a conversation with my doctor not long ago and hummed on me about smoking. So I took Chantix and I quit smoking for a year. She hummed on me about my drinking because I drank every night at 5 o'clock. And me and Mr. Bud were best of friends. Hummed on me about my drinking. I completely quit drinking. I never have a beer in my house or anything. The most I ever drink is like 2 or 3 glasses, maybe once a week, every 2 weeks here. Sarah. I'm Lois Marlene, spelt with a C. I was born in Glasgow. I'm 83. Down. Oh, up. No, I've always been competitive throughout life. in bowling. I was very competitive to the extreme, probably. Yeah. Yeah. Told you I was going to do the same as you did. And you didn't even watch it.
Yeah, I should have been out there.
Great, I missed it too.
Okay. I was reading a little bleep up there. Bowling 3 lanes, 3 games, is the same as, I think, walking a mile and a half. So that's good. I don't want to ever get to the point where I cannot function on my own at all. Getting old sucks. I told my son I don't want to get old. Then he informed me, I'm sorry to tell you, Mom, but you are old.
Okay. Okay. Screen sharing is stopped as the shared window is closed. Okay, am I back?
Yep.
Okay. So so that was what was part of the pitch, and Lois was there, and she was just like the belle of the ball because everyone was just loved her, and even after just seeing that 3-minute clip. So that gives you a sense of the style of the film. And at this point, we went back to shoot at the West Side Lanes. We went to film at the Missoula Senior Center on Lois's home. And I did all this in 3 days because this was right around, I won the money, and I turned around to shoot right away because of COVID. So what ended up happening is we started hearing about COVID cases in New York, and this was in February, and I thought, we're gonna get shut down. Like everything's gonna stop. And this was before we really knew what was going on. And I said, we have to get this footage. So we did, thankfully, because then sure enough, a week later, everything was closed. So in the film, the film we have, I have hundreds of people at the senior center. You see hundreds of people bowling at West Side Lanes, and then everything shut down. So I kept shooting. We went to Lois's house and shot from the outside, so looking through her window. We captured some Missoula COVID related closures, signs. And then as things started reopening, we went back to West Side Lanes when Lois would go for coffee in the morning. So I have some footage of that. And what we ended up with is a COVID film. For better or worse, it's a document of history, but right now we have a 15-minute film that is picture lock, meaning we're not changing anything at this point. And you see the before, during, and relatively speaking, after of the COVID pandemic for older adults in Missoula, Montana. And the film is currently getting professional sound work done, post-production sound work done in California. I won the $25,000, and in addition to that, I got a post-production sound package, which is a value of like $12,000, which I would never be able to afford if I was just producing this documentary on my own. And so it'll be a theatrical quality audio. And with the package that I won, I have mentorship from Tribeca Film Institute. Long story short, they actually closed during the pandemic, the nonprofit arm of Tribeca. So the film festival still happens, but the institute closed. But it was just taken up by another production company. Gosh, I always blank on the name. I'm not frozen. I'll think of it. But it's actually like a really even more well-known documentary film production company. So my contract will continue with them, and they'll hold my hand through the distribution process. So this documentary could be potentially available on streaming services. It could be up for broadcast. PBS could take it. It's a who knows at this point, but those are the avenues. Airplanes, somehow, like airline companies buy these documentaries. It's like a whole new world to me. But I'll have hand holding through that, so I won't have to navigate those uncharted waters by myself. But it should be completed, totally completed, in about a month.
Nice.
Yay! Any questions about that? Because I could talk a little bit more about it, but any questions come to mind? We lost some people. No? Okay. So that's kind of all I've got, really. I mean, I could if anybody has any other questions, Sandy has a question.
What's the future for you, Kelly?
That's a good question. I don't know immediately. We actually just got back yesterday. I was an actress in a film that was shot in Puget Sound. So I do still act a little bit. I dabble. And Leah, just because Leah knows, Sean Kirkpatrick was in it, which is really a funny coincidence because it was actually a Portland-based crew and director. So somehow I ended up in a film in Puget Sound, Washington with Sean Kirkpatrick. Really immediately next creatively is Bear Bait Dance is resuming a season. It might be partially live, partially virtual, but I'll be choreographing a piece for their upcoming season, which I'm really excited about. I'll give you a little teaser. And I start rehearsals in about a month. This is, I wanted, there's so many depressing things happening in this world that I wanted to work on a creative project that brought a little light to my life. And this might shock some of you, but we found this record because Mike, my partner, also collects vinyl. And we found this record. Can you guys read that? It says erotic aerobics. And it's like the quintessential like at home aerobics routine, like circa 1989 or whenever this was. And then I did a little bit more digging. And of course, there are just hundreds of aerobics programs that they not only come on these vinyls, but they have like posters of the different moves that you do at home. And so then obviously this is around Jane Fonda era, and then it moves into at-home workout videos. And so I'm going to work with the dance company on a piece. Kind of, obviously, it's helpful because it can be safely rehearsed in distance because they're not touching. We're going to do like aerobics routines. And if you can imagine like the aerobics videos, they have like 3 dancers or 3 aerobics instructors kind of near each other. And I hope I'm a theatrically inclined director when it comes to dance. So I see maybe some versions or amalgams of fitness gurus and characters kind of coming out through this. So I'll be working on a 20 to 30 minute piece with Bear Bait Dance that we could potentially, with this project, with Mike's help, make it look like an 80s workout video, just stylistically in post-production with film. So I think it'll be a really fun project to work on, and it'll bring light to some, I love in my work to chew on some things without hitting your head with it. But, I think this brings up a lot of struggles with women going back to work, women working and balancing their life and kids. And that's all under the surface of this, what looks like kind of a silly premise of at-home workout aerobics, but a woman trying to do it all. The impossible task. So that's a big theme that goes through Bear Bait's work because we're both working mothers, and that's why Joy and I think work so well together where we're at in our lives. So that's what's next, Sandy. Thanks for asking.
Kelly, did you go to one of the Roxy shows in the garden?
Yep, I was there kind of the soft opening, and we watched a film with all of the Humboldt building residents. So the Humboldt building is the kind of where the tuxedo shop is in
Yeah.
Compass right next door. It was kind of a gesture of like, sorry, we're taking over your backyard, and here you go. So I saw that, and I wasn't there for Singing in the Rain last weekend, which I heard had some technical issues, but I think it's going to be a really great asset for some folks. Unfortunately, it only seats 24 people in the back.
Yeah.
There. Did you go, Wolf?
I didn't jump on the reservation early enough, and so it was sold out very quickly. But
Yeah.
God, I miss that place, because we live about 4 or 5 blocks from the Roxy, and we were over there all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard, but living with Mike and seeing the journey, the support that the community has poured into that place is not surprising, but it's just really beautiful to see.
Yeah. Well,
And
we
then
don't want to lose it.
Yeah, and the way Mike has led that ship to other possibilities at this time. I don't know if you guys have attended the outdoor screenings at the baseball stadium, but they feel super safe and really fun. And we had the biggest dance party when we saw David Byrne's Talking Heads Stop Making Sense, and a really special opportunity there through all of this. So the Roxy is not disappointing, that's for sure. I feel really lucky to be so involved in a part of that organization. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. If anybody has any questions, or Leah, if you want to get together for a glass of wine, let's connect soon. I have a big backyard. Not big, but big enough. So
Thanks for the presentation, and thanks for your time, Kelly.
thanks, you guys. Thanks, Sandy, for connecting me.
Hey, and I want to join you and Leah. Don't exclude me.
No exclusions. All are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It worked. Thank you, Jim.